Top of the morning, y'all. Hope you're doing good. Listen, we already have enough reasons to absolutely despise FEMA. We've talked about that on here for years. I've personally seen ketchup come out of a glass bottle faster than I've seen an emergency response from FEMA. But anybody who's watching the West Coast right now, especially you folks out there in Oregon, all right, you know that you have two massive wildfires that's currently, as this video is being recorded, ripping through the timber, ripping straight through people's houses, their cattle, everything they've ever fought for in their entire life. These both started mid-July, all right? The first one over here was caused, so they say, by a single vehicle crash where a spark evidently hit some sagebrush or whatever, lit it up, just torched it. Now it's spread to like 16,000 acres of land. The second one was from a directed energy weapon. God, I don't know where that came from. I'm so sorry. The second one was from three separate lightning strikes that all happened to occur at the same time out there. And this one is now spread to over 300,000 acres of burning land. So naturally, what would you do if you're Oregon? Blue state or red state? I don't care. Let's take politics out of it. They run to DC and they're saying, FEMA, you got to jump in. You got to help us. We are screwed down here. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. When families were literally still packing up with go now evacuations getting screamed at them, FEMA had already stamped denied. The feds didn't even let the smoke clear before they closed their checkbook. Y'all, the federal government owns a massive chunk of the American West, all right? And it's choked up with a bunch of green regulations that they've been pushing since the Obama administrations and some before even then, okay? They won't let a soul even touch a chainsaw to clear the underbrush that's desperately needed to be cleared on a regular basis by private people or by groups or anything like that. It's just got to be the feds every single time. Then when it does catch fire, not if, but when, they look around at all the locals and they say, not our problem. Look, out here in the real world, we don't ask the government for permission to go help our neighbors or to go save them. We just go do it. And here's the darkest part of this entire FEMA denial story right here, because the mainstream media completely missed it. FEMA didn't just issue a blanket denial. Because here's the deal. When the senators from Oregon went up to DC to beg for help, FEMA goes, yeah, we'll help you. You got 5 fires. Looks like 2 of them are out of control and 3 of them are real tiny. They can be dealt with real quick. We'll fund the tiny ones. That's the sickest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. While the other 2 just torched the entire state. Do y'all understand what kind of dark psychology that is? That way they can go on the news. They can look in the cameras and then say, I don't know what everybody's complaining about. We helped. We did something. Not to mention the morons we got up there at the Department of Homeland Security. I'm not sure a lot of y'all know this because I found it out like 3 hours ago and I'm still sick to my stomach. The Department of Homeland Security said they're going to withhold 20% of FEMA grants until states like Oregon, the blue states, want to play ball with the SAVE Act. It's really hard to crank me any further to the right, y'all. You know I'm a conservative. But blue state, red state, whatever, when you are watching Americans burn and lose their houses and their cattle and their livelihoods, all because of something they can't control what their politicians up there in Oregon are doing, that they're probably against, by the way. Oregon's an extremely red state if you take out Portland and Eugene. Look at a map of the 2024 vote of Oregon. It looks as red as most of middle America. Look, I wish anybody on Fox News, by the way, would have the balls to step in there and say, I got a question. While the government is screaming about climate change, if they're shutting down the money to stop a 300,000 acre wildfire, isn't that kind of interesting? You know? Or do they just need the footage of the burning towns to justify the green energy lockdowns? Which leads me, again, back to flock cameras. You know, I found out the flock cameras actually have emergency response tools built into them. Don't think for a second they can't coordinate with FEMA, because they absolutely can. They can track your movement back to your property if you're supposed to be there, if you're not supposed to be there. Y'all, this is exactly why I carry this Faraday sleeve that I told you about from Refuge Privacy. And you were today years old when you realized old buddy still carries a flip phone. Yes, I do. Why in the world would you want to be tracked everywhere you go? You take your phone, you slide it in there. This is the only Faraday cage that actually blocks out sound, blocks out 5G signal. American made. And look, I mean, I don't mean to sound like an advertisement, but this is going to be the future of being able to go ghost in 2026, 27, 28. right here. Refugeprivacy.com, code BUDDY. You're going to get 10% off with that. I don't want people building a profile on me. Not only to track possible crime, but like pre-crime, like that movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise. I haven't even committed a crime yet. Yeah, well, you're convicted of pre-crime, of doing something because you're in a place where you shouldn't be. I mean, you think it's sci-fi stuff, but go back 10 years and tell me if we ain't living in sci-fi right now. So let me end this on a high note right now because I know your soul's begging for it. If you miss this, you're going to miss the point of the whole video. What gives me hope is that every time America's gone through something awful, it wasn't DC that was first to show up. It was a man with a chainsaw. It was a bunch of women bringing food. It was a church parking lot full of bottled water. It was a neighbor with a tractor. Okay. They can't regulate real America out of our DNA. So that should leave you hopeful right now. And I want y'all to hit like on this video just to show me that you're praying for these people who are dealing with wildfires. Look, I calculated like 85 different wildfires at the time of this video I'm recording right now in America. In Canada, 860. 860 up there in Canada. So if you're living near one of these places, we're praying for you. We want to lift you up. Comment where you're from and let other people jump in the comment sections and pray for you. That's what we do here. That's the beautiful thing about this channel. The link is below for this sleeve right here. Okay. Block out your movement. Don't forget this. We want to be able to move freely around the country. There's just nothing more important in my mind's eye. This is truly one of the last refuges, no pun intended, of freedom. The link is going to be below. God bless y'all, and be praying for y'all who are dealing with this. Be good.